Your company runs a critical application on AWS that must remain available during a disaster. The application is hosted in a single region with an RDS database. You need a disaster recovery solution that minimizes downtime and data loss. Options: A. Use RDS multi-AZ deployment within the same region. B. Use RDS read replicas in a different region. C. Use Aurora Global Database for cross-region replication. D. Use S3 cross-region replication to replicate the database backups. Correct answer: C. Use Aurora Global Database for cross-region replication. Explanation: Aurora Global Database replicates data across regions with minimal latency, ensuring high availability and disaster recovery. Why not other options? Option A. Multi-AZ only provides high availability within the same region, not disaster recovery. Option B. Read replicas provide scalability, but are not designed for disaster recovery. Option D. S3 cross-region replication replicates backups, not live databases. You run batch jobs every night to process large volumes of data. The job can be interrupted and resumed without any loss of progress. You want to minimize costs for compute resources. Options: A. Use on-demand EC2 instances. B. Use reserved instances. C. Use spot instances with a fleet configuration. D. Use Lambda functions to process the data. Correct answer: C. Use spot instances with a fleet configuration. Explanation: Spot instances are significantly cheaper than on-demand instances and are suitable for interruptible workloads. Fleet configurations improve availability by diversifying instance types. Why not other options? Option A. On-demand instances are expensive for non-critical, interruptible workloads. Option B. Reserved instances require a long-term commitment, which may not be flexible. Option D. Lambda has limitations on runtime and concurrent executions, making it unsuitable for large batch processing. Your company processes sensitive financial transactions and must ensure that all data transmitted between clients and the backend is encrypted. You want a cost-effective solution with minimal management overhead. Options: A. Use an application load balancer, ALB, with SSL termination. B. Use an EC2 instance to install and manage an Nginx server for SSL termination. C. Use AWS Certificate Manager, ACM, with Elastic Load Balancer. D. Use Cloud HSM to manage SSL certificates and encryption keys. Correct answer: C. Use AWS Certificate Manager, ACM, with Elastic Load Balancer. Explanation: ACM simplifies SSL/TLS certificate management and integrates seamlessly with Elastic Load Balancer for cost-effective encryption in transit. Why not other options? Option A. ALB with SSL termination is valid but requires you to manually upload and manage certificates without ACM. Option B. Managing Nginx on EC2 is complex and less scalable. Option D. Cloud HSM is for advanced use cases requiring hardware security modules but is expensive and unnecessary here. You are hosting a global e-commerce platform that serves customers in multiple AWS regions. You need to route user traffic to the nearest AWS region and ensure low latency and high availability. Options: A. Use Route 53 with geolocation routing. B. Use CloudFront with S3 origin. C. Use an ALB with cross-region load balancing. D. Use Global Accelerator for routing traffic. Correct answer: D. Use Global Accelerator for routing traffic. Explanation: Global Accelerator routes user traffic to the nearest AWS region based on latency and improves performance using the AWS global network. Why not other options? Option A. Route 53 with geolocation routing works, but it doesn't optimize for latency. Option B. CloudFront caches content globally but doesn't route dynamic traffic. Option C. ALB does not support cross-region load balancing directly. Your application generates hundreds of gigabytes of log data daily. You need to store logs cost-effectively and analyze them later using SQL queries. Options: A. Store logs in S3 Standard and analyze with Amazon Redshift. B. Store logs in S3 Glacier and use Redshift Spectrum for analysis. C. Store logs in S3 standard IA and query using Amazon Athena. D. Store logs in S3 intelligent tiering and use AWS Glue for data transformation. Correct answer, C. Store logs in S3 standard IA and query using Amazon Athena. Explanation: S3 standard IA is cost-effective for infrequent access, and Athena allows querying logs directly using SQL, reducing overall costs. Why not other options? Option A. Redshift is more expensive and designed for structured data analytics, not direct querying of raw logs. Option B. Glacier is for archival and not suitable for querying. Option D. Intelligent tiering adds cost overhead for tiering, and Glue adds unnecessary complexity for direct analysis. Your application needs to process and analyze a continuous stream of sensor data in real time, with the ability to ingest hundreds of thousands of events per second. Options: A. Use Amazon SQS with EC2 for processing messages. B. Use Amazon Kinesis data streams with AWS Lambda. C. Use DynamoDB streams with EC2 for data processing. D. Use Amazon SNS for delivering messages to subscribers. Correct answer: B. Use Amazon Kinesis data streams with AWS Lambda. Explanation: Kinesis data streams handles real-time streaming at scale, and Lambda enables serverless event processing. Why not other options? Option A. SQS is not designed for high-throughput real-time streaming. Option C. DynamoDB streams is for change data capture, not high-throughput streaming. Option D. SNS is for pub/sub messaging, not real-time event processing. You need to migrate a 10 TB on-premises Oracle database to AWS. The migration must minimize downtime and ensure data consistency. Options: A. Use AWS Database Migration Service, DMS, with an EC2 instance running Oracle. B. Use Snowball Edge for transferring data and then import to RDS-C. Use AWS DMS with Amazon Aurora as the target database. D. Use S3 to upload database backups and restore them manually to an EC2 instance. Correct answer: C. Use AWS DMS with Amazon Aurora as the target database. Explanation: DMS supports continuous replication for near-zero downtime migrations, and Aurora is a fully managed database service that supports Oracle workloads. Why not other options? Option A. Running Oracle on EC2 requires more management effort and doesn't leverage Aurora's scalability. Option B. Snowball Edge is good for bulk data transfer, but doesn't provide continuous replication. Option D. Manual backup and restore introduce downtime and risk inconsistency. You are deploying a web application that must scale to handle traffic spikes while maintaining cost efficiency and availability. Options: A. Use EC2 instances with scheduled scaling. B. Use EC2 auto-scaling with elastic load balancing. C. Use AWS Lambda with provisioned concurrency. D. Use AWS Elastic Beanstalk with a fixed instance count. Correct answer: B. Use EC2 auto-scaling with elastic load balancing. Explanation: auto-scaling adjusts the number of EC2 instances based on demand, and ELB distributes traffic evenly to ensure high availability. Why not other options? Option A. Scheduled scaling doesn't respond to real-time traffic changes. Option C. Lambda is serverless, but may not suit stateful applications requiring EC2. Option D. Elastic Beanstalk with a fixed instance count cannot scale dynamically. Your company has multiple AWS accounts for different teams. Developers in one account need access to S3 buckets in another account securely. Options: A. Create IAM users in each account and assign policies. B. Use IAM roles and resource-based policies. C. Use AWS organizations with service control policies, SCPs. D. Use AWS Transfer Family for cross-account access. Correct answer: B. Use IAM roles and resource-based policies. Explanation: IAM roles enable secure cross-account access, and resource-based policies define granular access controls for S3. Why not other options? Option A. Creating IAM users increases management overhead and security risks. Option C. SCPs are used for restricting services and don't manage cross-account access directly. Option D, AWS Transfer Family is for transferring files, not cross-account access. You are building a serverless application using AWS Lambda, API Gateway, and DynamoDB. The application must authenticate users and prevent unauthorized access. Options: A. Use API Gateway with Lambda authorizers and encrypt data in DynamoDB. B. Use API Gateway with an IAM role for user authentication. C. Use Lambda environment variables to store user credentials. D. Use DynamoDB streams to validate user requests. Correct answer: A. Use API Gateway with Lambda authorizers and encrypt data in DynamoDB. Explanation: API Gateway with Lambda authorizers provides flexible, secure user authentication. Encrypting DynamoDB ensures data is protected. Why not other options? Option B. IAM roles are not intended for end-user authentication. Option C. Storing credentials and environment variables is insecure. Option D. DynamoDB streams are not designed for authentication.